We're going to learn to saw today using this wonderful little Irwin Jack saw. So let's get started. So you can see I've screwed this bit of wood here. This gives me something to work against. And I'm now going to put my block of wood over the edge of the bench here, ready for sawing. The next thing then is, how do we hold the saw? Now, we grip it with our dominant hand, left or right, but the key thing is your first finger sits in this little groove here. Now, people always forget this, but this is really, really important to remember to stick your finger out, because it helps keep your arm nice and straight all the way across here when you're actually sawing. So what I want you to think about when you're sawing, but imagine that you had your hand, and I said slide this over the top of your hand without cutting your hand. Very, very light pressure. So we're not pushing the saw through the wood, we're trying to actively lift the saw off the wood to give it a chance to start making a groove. What I'm going to do now is use my thumbnail here to guide the saw blade, to stop the saw from wandering around like this. So I need to push the saw just a little bit into my thumbnail, not hard, you don't want to bend it like this, just a tiny bit. And we have to be very careful here, so super, super light pressure on the saw and get a little groove going. So just like this. Super light. Once I've got my groove, get this thumb out of the way. Yep. So now I've got my groove, it's nice and straight. I can tell, because I can still see the line right next to it. So that is the first step. Once you've got that bit nice and straight, now all I have to think about is it straight in the downwards direction, so this way or this way. And if I set my right eye up over the top of the blade and follow the line I've drawn down the front, I can keep an eye on that as I go through the cut. Nice and soft, straight. Okay, we can see here now I'm following this line down the front here, and I can tell that I'm doing really well here, I'm going pretty straight. If I were accidentally coming slightly away from the line, I can apply a small amount of twist to bring the saw back in. So if I put my saw back in here, and say I was coming off to the right, I can very slightly twist my saw just like that, and it will come back onto the line. But you're better off learning just to get it straight first time. So as we go through, all the way through the bottom here, just gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there we go, sawn all the way through.